All right, we're back for another week of work on the car. So what I'm doing this week is relocating the dipstick on the oil pan, or at least that's what I'm doing today. I already took the oil pan off, and man, it was not easy because I'll show you. See, there's the oil pan. When these bolts, these are the bolts that I have to put in there. When they're in here like this, I can only get a wrench in there, like I can only get the open end in here, and I can only turn it just a little bit at a time, right? Like I can't fit a socket or a ratcheting in there. So I thought maybe I can use a ratcheting wrench, but no, it doesn't fit in there because of the back side of it. So I thought this takes way too long, and I came up with this brilliant idea of getting this style of bolt that I could use a 10mm wrench on. So I found one of these, and I went to my local bolt supplier, and I went in with this bolt, and I said, I need more like this. And they looked at me like I was trying to get some kind of a, you know, space part or something. They're just like, huh, what is that? And it was pretty lame that I couldn't get this kind of bolt from my bolt supplier. Now, many of you right now are saying, oh, just get header bolts from a speed shop. Yes, except header bolts are generally SAE sizes, and I need metric. This engine is metric. This is an M8 bolt. So what I did was I went to my brother's shop, who's a mechanic, and I said, I need a bolt like this. And he directed me towards his miscellaneous bolts tray, which is just a big old box of miscellaneous bolts. And I managed to find enough matching ones like this. You see it has a small head on it. That is for a 10mm wrench instead of a 13mm wrench. And this should work the treat to bolt that on using a ratcheting wrench, and should considerably cut down on the time. Anyways, okay, so the reason I took the pan off was to relocate the dipstick. This is where the dipstick used to go in. This is the front of the motor. For the dipstick, this is a stock dipstick tube and dipstick. If I put it in there like that, this would basically be coming into the inconvenient place in the right beside the driver's seat. So I didn't want to do that, and what I wound up doing was making a really long tube that went out here, out the front, but that wound up being quite a hassle as well. So I just welded that one up and I moved it over to here, so now I have a dipstick on the front of the motor, just like so. Ooh, it's a tight fit. And I knew it was that height. I should have taken a video of all this, but I knew it was that height because this is a 6-quart oil pan from Custom Built Motors from CBM. So it's 6 quart, and I added a quart for my remote oil filter, so 7 quarts. So what I did was I put 7 quarts of water in here after cleaning it out. I put 7 quarts of water in here, and I did some careful measuring of where the dipstick would be with 7 quarts of water. So now I know that that's the right location for that dipstick, and it'll be easy to check the oil. And yeah, so that's that. So now I just need to bolt that whole business back up. I don't know if any of you are curious, but here's what the inside of the motor is looking like. Everything's looking fine in there. Yeah, everything's all hunky-dory. All right, so that's that, and then we'll move on to the next thing. Okay, so we're under the car, and this front, I don't even know what to call it, where I'm going to channel the air through my front radiator, that channel area, it's attached at the back of the but not at the front. The front, it just rests on the front end of the car. So I need to put some kind of a brace in there, and I'm thinking about doing something like this with this aluminum brace going up here and attaching. This here is the underside of it. You can see it's loose. So I'm thinking of
putting a brace, like an aluminum brace from here down to this bolt here. If I do it down to this bolt here, because this pivots, then when I adjust the front end up and down, it should also adjust this. So that's what I'm going to do. So you'll notice oftentimes I do these time lapses and stuff. It's a lot of times it's because there's carts racing around the track, and obviously I can't do any audio where I'm showing you guys or talking about what I'm doing. I have to do a time lapse, or oftentimes I just skip it altogether. I don't even bother recording, and I just show you afterwards what I've done. So that happens a lot too. And that's why I'm always wearing those protective, my bright purple, you've seen them. Those are noise canceling headphones. So yeah, I listen to podcasts and stuff. Formula One podcast. My favorite's the Adam Carolla podcast. But yeah, I do that a lot. And but it's noisy, right? There's carts racing around. And then like just now, the staff challenged me to a race, so I gotta go race them and kick their ass, you know. And customers are often wanting advice on how to go faster, so I'll go for a racing, which is great. It's ideal. I'll admit, I have a great life. I get to race, and I get to make a living off of people racing. Not many people can say that. I'm not rich by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a living. All right, the car is naked. This is what it looks like all stripped down. It sort of looks cool in its own way. Oh, I gotta still take that off. Still, yeah, it still kind of looks cool in its own way, even though it's all stripped down. I'd drive it like that. Sure. Take it to an autocross. I should do that one time at a local event. I should just take the car like this to a local event, just completely stripped down. I don't know how much lighter it would be. It'd be quite a bit lighter. I'd have to run a different class, like A mod or something. But anyways, yep.